Comic Boom.
Hey guys, Comic Boom here to review Wonder Woman issue 76, Year of the Villain, which is continuing the tease, of course, that Cheetah was made an offer by Lex Luthor. Cheetah was given the God Killer sword, and Cheetah, of course, makes an appearance here in the pages of Wonder Woman issue 76, where she kills off a god, and you can guess which god that is. Now, because it's a god, I don't care, because I don't lose sleep when gods die. Because frankly, what good are they really? They're narcissistic, they're fairly useless, they presume that they're always right. In other words, they basically sound like the rest of us humans, which frankly, why do I need gods when I got fellow humans I gotta deal with, right? But any event, this issue is actually not bad. Now, J. Willow Wilson, if there's a theme for this particular issue, it's basically mothers and daughters, because at the end of last issue, the forces of Grail were defeated in the the Chi dimension, and essentially Themyscira now is basically, it's now accessible to humanity. It's now accessible to our world. And because what happened is that when Grail killed Ares with the God Killer sword, and Ares was reborn along with some of the other Greek gods, it basically destroyed the barrier between Themyscira and man's world, or humanity. And now that that barrier was destroyed, it's realigning itself so that the door between Themyscira and humanity is now open again, which is very, very helpful and very useful, because of course this allows Wonder Woman to finally visit her mother on a regular basis. And in particular, it allows Veronica Cale to be reunited with her daughter Isidore. Now, that's significant because going back to Wonder Woman Rebirth, written by Greg Rucka, that storyline ended with Veronica Cale, the enemy of Wonder Woman, being separated from her daughter Isidore, who was essentially, basically forever essentially cursed to live on Paradise Island, if you want to call it a curse. If you have to live with 3,000 women, I don't know, is that a curse? Maybe it is. It depends on the women, right? But these are Amazons, and Isidore was essentially, she thought she would be raised by Amazons for the remainder of her life, forever prevented from having any kind of access to humanity, to our world again. And what I particularly like about this issue, a highlight for me in this issue, is a little bit of a redemption and reckoning between Wonder Woman and Veronica Cale, because one of the things that bothered me at the end of Rucka's run was I really thought that Veronica Cale wasn't as bad as Rucka wanted to make her appear. Veronica Cale, in my view, was a sympathetic villain in many ways, insofar that she was manipulated by the twin sons of Ares, and namely Phobos and Deimos, to basically manipulate free Ares. She was manipulated, and they basically blackmailed Veronica Cale into working for them by cursing her daughter. And ultimately, while Wonder Woman was successful in defeating Phobos and Deimos, unfortunately the curse on Isidore remained, and the only way that Isidore could have any semblance of a normal life was by staying in the safety of Themyscira. But Themyscira was still forever cut off from man's world. Now, unfortunately, that remained to be the case, and Wonder Woman appeared to be very indifferent about it. She wasn't particularly nice to Veronica Cale. Wonder Woman does not like Veronica Cale, and my take on it is Wonder Woman is inclined not to like Veronica Cale. Veronica Cale hates Wonder Woman, but at least Veronica Cale has a reason to hate Wonder Woman. Because it really was, in many ways, Wonder Woman is associated with the Amazons, associated with the Themyscira, obviously. Wonder Woman is associated with the gods, and the gods are responsible for taking Isidore away from her mother, Veronica Cale. So Veronica Cale has every right to be a little bit upset. What I like here is that Wonder Woman, despite that Veronica Cale is her enemy, finally returns Isidore to Veronica Cale. They finally have a reunion, which was a long time coming, and Wonder Woman promised that. Now, I do note that in the scene where it takes place, Wonder Woman says to Veronica Cale, I managed to do the impossible. You know, when of course Wonder Woman had nothing to do with it. Wonder Woman stumbled upon it. So I found it very interesting that Wonder Woman took ownership that somehow she had accomplished reuniting Isidore with her mother, when in fact she had nothing to do with it. I mean, it was the Chi dimension. Wonder Woman stumbled upon the Chi dimension. I mean, Wonder Woman has never really been in control of anything that has been happening along this plot line. What had happened is that the sword of Antiope that was discovered by Maggie Wonder Woman didn't have anything to do with that. It was the sword of Antiope that led the way to the Chi dimension and ultimately played a role in the freeing of the Amazons and ultimately playing a role in the realignment of the connection between Themyscira and man's world. But in any event, the theme of mothers and daughters in this issue really builds and it grows. In between Wonder Woman and Hippolyta, there's some nice scenes between Wonder Woman and Hippolyta, but the dialogue is empty. They don't really reveal much. They just talk about how good it is to be back together again, how good it is to be able to for mom and daughter to be together. So I guess it's a feel-good issue, but there's no real deep revelations, right? Atlantiades talks about, she's looking forward to going back and having a reckoning with her mother Aphrodite, because they have a falling out. So this was a mothers and daughters kind of issue, but again, it's more of a personal take. So in that respect, it wasn't bad, but nothing really. There was no revelations. I was really hoping that Hippolyta would reveal some insight to Wonder Woman about what's happened, just to sort of spice things up a bit. We never really got any of that, but it's okay. It's okay. I guess I was expecting a little bit more. I do note that when Atlantiades talks about she wants to go back to Summer Grove. Now, Summer Grove is the Midwestern American town where Atlantiades mind raped the entire town by basically forcing them to embrace their heart's desire. And Atlantiades here still doesn't take ownership of it. She talks about going back to Summer Grove to clean it up, were her exact words. She wants to go back to Summer Grove to clean up her mess, essentially. That's not really taking ownership of it. As a matter of fact, she's got nothing to take ownership of, because it's sort of like if you're a criminal and you burn down a house in a city. What makes you think it's your city to go clean up? You're a criminal. Stay away. The town doesn't want you back, Atlantiades. Stay away, Atlantiades. You're doing no good. You're a god. Nobody wants you back. What are you going to do? They have a mayor. They were perfectly fine when you weren't there. They don't need you to come back and what? Apologize? What are you going to do? Stay away. Just stay away. I did a whole video on this. Stay away. You cause nothing but problems, all right? You got problems. Stay away. A more interesting point for some might be the appearance of the cheetah. Now, the cheetah is really, I think, a cliche character to use. She has the God Killer sword, and surprise, surprise, I don't even know, this isn't even exciting. Cheetah uses the God Killer sword to show up, and she kills one of the gods in this issue. And it's very blasé. It's like, okay. So what if the cheetah kills the gods? It's done for shock value. It has no, it's got no effect. It's got really no shoot spot. It's got no gravitas. Who cares? Why would Cheetah want to kill one of the gods? Why? So, okay, now, guess what? Cheetah hates the gods because Cheetah was cursed by the god Ishkataga or whatever. Okay, so Cheetah hates the gods. She's going to kill the gods. But here's the thing. You got Lex Luthor, he's really intelligent. You got even Veronica Cale, she's intelligent. You got all these nemesis of the Justice Leaguers. They got these top talent villains. And Cheetah is just mindless. She goes and she likes to kill things. She's not intelligent. So there's no display of intelligence. Cheetah just shows up out of the blue and kills a god. I won't tell you who the god is, but you could probably guess. Also, the god she kills, I'm glad, is dead. Let's just say it has something to do with love. And with this particular goddess of love no longer being on the playing field, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Gets some narcissism, spouting about worthiness. Please. Another god bites the dust. Does anybody care? Nobody cares. But in any event, that's my feeling on that. Overall, though, the mother and the daughter sort of theme of this, I didn't mind. It's not bad. But again, I wanted a little bit. It's nice to have Veronica Cale back with her daughter Isadora, and I really want Veronica Cale. Veronica Cale makes a point of telling Wonder Woman in this issue that we're still enemies, and then Wonder Woman says that we're still enemies now. So it's interesting that Wonder Woman, even after finally doing something nice for Veronica Cale, Wonder Woman reminds Veronica Cale that we're still enemies now. Now, Veronica Cale said we're still enemies, but for Wonder Woman to say, yeah, we're still enemies now. Well, why is that, Wonder Woman? I mean, why would Wonder Woman say something like that? The only reason, the entire premise of Veronica Cale hating Wonder Woman is that Wonder Woman, her daughter was on Themyscira, and Wonder Woman was unable always unable to fulfill the promise of returning her daughter. Now her daughter's returned. Now Veronica Cale's still upset. She's still in shock that her daughter's still alive. She's still kind of grieving and happy at the same time. So you can I can forgive Veronica Cale for saying we're still enemies, because she still has remnants of that anger towards Wonder Woman. But for Wonder Woman to say we're still enemies now, what would prompt Wonder Woman to say that? I thought that was a little bit out of character for Wonder Woman. I would have thought, not to play script doctor, but I would have thought it would have been more appropriate for Wonder Woman to say, if that's your choice, we're still enemies, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman ought to have said, if that's your choice. Who your enemies are is a choice. Perhaps one day you will choose differently. Something like that. Because of all the preachiness that Wonder Woman has done, I would have thought she would have been taking a higher ground. But when it comes to Veronica Cale, Wonder Woman is still, at the end of the day, she just doesn't like giving Veronica Cale the benefit of the doubt. But it was at least nice to see that Wonder Woman went out of her way. The first thing she did when she got back from Themyscira was she went to Veronica Cale and said, your daughter, come see your daughter. That I liked. That provides, in my mind, some redemption for Wonder Woman, who acted like a total bitch at the end of Rucka's run, who when she got back to Man's World at the end of Rucka's run, she totally ignored Veronica Cale and made out with Steve Trevor as the helicopter landed to pick them all up. I kid you not. In any event, guys, tell me what you think of Wonder Woman issue 76. Hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Metropolis40. Until next time, Comic Boom, out.